At the end of a wild high-speed chase,
I need some help.
bullets and blood.
I'm down.
Fort Worth police officer Matt Pearce is shot 5 times in the gun battle with Ed McIver Sr.
Shots fired, shots fired.
He's badly injured and trapped in the thick branches of mesquite trees. Matt is terrified. His body cam picks up voices of his fellow officers, but he thinks they believe he is the suspect. He summons every last ounce of breath to yell,
Blue. Blue. I'm blue.
the secret code word that reveals he's a cop.
Where are you hitting at? Everywhere.
Moments later, Officer Brandy Camper, an Army-trained medic, arrives at the scene.
He's laying on his side, he's sweating buckets, he's white as a ghost, and he's covered in blood. And he's looking at me going, Brandy, I'm bad. It's bad. I can feel my lungs filling up with blood.
The ambulance isn't there yet, so they load Matt into a police truck.
We need to get Matt out of there before we end up in another gunfight, because he cannot afford to get hit one more time. He can't afford one more injury. So we load him up into the back of a Tahoe, and as soon as we took off, the Tahoe sank in the mud, and we're stuck. And Matt is screaming because his femur's broken.
So now they carefully carry Matt on an open field so a helicopter can airlift him to the hospital. After surgery, Matt is put into a medically induced coma. But will he come out of it?
The next thing I remember is waking up,
He's awake and alive.
and I saw my mom, and I said, Mom, how long have I been asleep? For like 2 or 3 days? And she looks at me and she goes, oh no, try 2.5 weeks.
Now this hero cop is sharing with Crime Watch Daily his amazing story of the pursuit and the gunfight. He walks with a limp, the result of his broken femur, and his thick beard covers the scars on his face.
As we continue chasing him, he finds a dirt road with an open gate. It looked like a scene from the Dukes of Hazzard. There's dirt flying in front of me. I'm driving fast behind it. So as we're running through this mesquite thicket, I'm screaming at him.
Stop right there! Stop right there! Forward, please!
When we get to a barbed wire fence, so Ed McIver Sr. puts his belly on the fence and just flops over it, like almost look like an acrobatic move, as I have a whole belt full of equipment on. If I try and flip over that barbed wire fence like he did, I'm gonna be literally hung upside down from my belt from that fence, and now I'm gonna look like a coyote caught in a barbed wire fence.
Remember, Matt tried to jump from the fence post, but fell down. That's when he and the suspect exchanged fire.
The first set of bullets actually hit me in the leg, which broke my femur. So I've got 2 options. I can sit here and let him shoot me, or I can fight back. And I'm not about to sit here and let some dude just shoot me and not shoot back. And in my body camera footage, you can see his shadow come into my camera. And then he reaches his hand in the bush and puts the gun to my head and just pulls the trigger. I can see blood just pouring out of my face now. I have the choice to make. Do I fight or do I accept defeat? And I'm too ornery and too stubborn to accept defeat, so we're gonna fight.
Now Matt faces another terror, even more horrifying than the first.
I laid there and I thought, this is gonna suck. I just survived an execution and my own guys are gonna shoot and kill me. I was scared to death. I thought that's really what was gonna happen.
He's buried under the mesquite branches, and all the other officers can see are his shoes.
So they start challenging me. Show me your hands, show me your hands.
Show me your hands! I will kill you!
Show me your hands or we're gonna shoot you. So I'm trying to yell blue as loud as I can, but they can't hear me. So about the 3rd or 4th time I tried to say it, I finally was just like, all right, this is my last ditch effort. I'm gonna take the biggest breath I can and I'm gonna yell it as loud as I can. And if they don't hear me, I don't know what to do next. So I took as deep a breath as I could with one functional lung, and I got it out loud enough.
Blue. 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 I'm blue.
And that's when they finally realized that it was me.
Like his close friend Brandy, Matt too is trained in emergency medicine. He was a paramedic before he became a cop.
Then all of a sudden, I hear Officer Brandy Camper's voice. I was like, oh, thank God. she's here. I know that she knows exactly what to do to give me the best chance to survive, and I don't have to tell her how to do it.
I don't think I've ever had a scenario or a training situation where a patient had 9 holes in them.
Matt survived, but McIver Sr. didn't.
After Ed McIver tries to execute me, he turns and tries to kind of scurry up the hill to get away from my body, because I'm sure he thinks he killed me. Officers are at the top of the hill and they engage him in a firefight and end up shooting and killing him.
One suspect is down. We don't know where the other one's at.
After 3 hours of searching, cops found his son, Ed Jr. He pleaded not guilty to charges of hindering the apprehension of a felon and tampering with evidence, felonies that could get him 10 years in prison. Almost 1 year after bullets flew in Fort Worth, Matt bravely returns to what might have been his killing field.
I used that post right there to come over the fence. And this is the bush I was laid up in right here.
He hopes to be back on patrol next month.
Coming back to work has been probably one of the hardest parts for me, because I'm not one to know just to sit around and soak up, the time off. I'm now back light duty for 20 hours a week. Now next month I'll be back for 40 hours a week. And then the plan is for me to return to a uniform mid-November.
Matt is one tough cop. He wears blue, but he bleeds red, just like you and me. He has a warning for any would-be thugs who dare to take him on in a gun battle.
So the next time somebody draws a gun at me, if they think I'm going out without a fight, they got another story coming.
If you like this story, make sure you tune in every day to Crime Watch Daily. You can find where the show airs in your city at crimewatchdaily.com. Watch it live or record it on your DVR and watch it at night. And to all those criminals out there, remember, we are watching.